So I thought that I'd break something out this week with a little style by way of the Beast Wars basic class Razorbeast. He's going to be our focus this time around, from back in the day, in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light my baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of those in the description down below. Also in the description down below, if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member, baby. And this is the Beast Wars Basics Razorbeast. He was part of the first wave of Beast Wars, is my understanding. Later, this mold was used for Beast Wars Neo Randy. It wasn't nearly as successful as this one because that one was made out of gold. We all know how tedious and how dangerous gold can be. But this guy was not made of either of those. Neither part of this guy was made of gold. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, it's really hot here today, like a billion degrees Celsius. It is what it is, right? But this guy is pretty fantastic, even by today's standards. How big is he? How small is he? Where does he fit in? What was his articulation like? And what was his transformation like? Well, we're about to find out about all of those things when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this lad. And thanks to our buddy Maximal 10, we're taking a look at a Beast Wars Maximal from the first wave of Beast Wars. This was Razorbeast. He was one of the, I think, basic class figures is what they were called. This mold was later used with one of the most notorious GPS members that there ever was. That's an exclusive club, right? Maybe a top 10 there for top 10 characters with the worst GPS. We'll see. But it was reused for Beast Wars Neo Randy in Japan. Thing pretty much crumbles. This one does not. It was made out of red plastic. Pretty solid overall. So it's funny because a lot of people want the Japanese version of Transmetal's Megatron because the North American version had gold plastic that crumbled. It's sort of the reverse here. A lot of people that are fans of Randy from Beast Wars Neo in Japan still kind of seek out Razorbeast because at least this version, though the color isn't right, at least this version doesn't break up. So, I mean, take it for what it is, right? Very simple. He's a little warthog. Was he supposed to be in the show? Who knows? Was he one of the Maximal pods that, I don't know, never got revived or whatever? Who knows? But, yeah, he's a Maximal. He's a warthog. In this mode, the back legs can move forward and back a little bit. The front legs can too, but they're kind of on little ball joints, so they have a little bit more movement. The problem is, yeah, the automorph sometimes wants to be a bit of a nuisance when you move some of that. So, like right now, I don't know why it's doing it right now though. I don't know what's going on there. You sort of saw the transformation. I'll say this, in terms of coloration, because we don't really have anything to go on, I'm going to have to say it's a 10. The automorph is most of the transformation. I like it, and I think it's generally effective for the little Beast Wars characters. Like, I like it for Pterosaur. I like it for this guy. I've heard that Rat Trap has it. I don't know. I've never actually handled Rat Trap, so I don't know if he's automorph. Somebody out there knows, I'm sure. But, like, we have some, I guess, like his bio, you know, we have some art there. I mean, he had some art, like, in IDW, sort of, kind of, but I feel like that was more Randy than this guy. So he's kind of had comic book art for the most part. You know, we're going to say the coloration is 10 because we don't have, like, cartoon animation to compare to. That being said, the comic books, his appearances there pretty much match this. So I'm going to say 10 for what it is. The transformation, again, I guess I'll show it now. This piece should come out. It will become his blaster in a few minutes. We'll see that up close in a second. Then really all you need to do is you're supposed to lift it up by the tail, but you can also lift it out by the sides as it wanted to pop earlier. Tail comes all the way up. Fold that leg up, fold this leg down, fold that leg up, and fold this leg down. And then when we turn the guy like this, the only other thing to note is that the forearms are pegged on. There's a little peg on the back of the forearm that goes into a hole right there. So pick off a forearm, pick off a forearm. I'm gonna stand the guy up and get him from being sideways so that we can see him in all of his robot mode glory. Before I do that, this is the underside of his like hair mohawk thing. You can just flip this out and there's a peg there. It looks like, based on packaging art and whatnot, it looks like that this was supposed to kind of split in two and be two accessories, like a blaster for each hand, but that's not the way it ended up being in the final release. And boom, here we have the robot mode. Look, I know the transformation is an automorph thing, and a lot of times I say I don't like gimmicks and stuff, especially the way it's done nowadays with like these, you know, the like worthy Grim Bee Crash combining together thingy and the roll and change nonsense of the huge Optimus with articulation limitations and whatnot. This was an automorph done right. Very simple, yes, but it's effective and it works. I'm going to say that the transformation's a 9, honestly. If you are someone who is like, well, it takes away the fun of figuring out the puzzle, which I get. I totally get. But if you're somebody who thinks like that, then this guy's not going to be for you. I admit that. For me, I like the quick conversion back and forth. It is exactly what a transformer should be, and yet it's functional in both modes. I think that this worked out great. Honestly, subjectively, I want to say 10, but because I realize it's an automorph and some people aren't going to like that, I'm going to knock it down to a 9. Right now, the guy's getting a 9.5. He stands pretty great, a little bit back heavy depending on certain poses, but he stands pretty great. What about the articulation? Again, remember that this was like mid-90s. This was just after G2. So what do we have? We have a head that can go left and right. It looks down. It can't really look up. The arms can go all the way out to the side, all the way up, but of course they're blocked by the thing here. But the shoulders can go all the way out. We have a swivel because of the ball joint at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist. But the arms are about as functional as you could want. No waist. I mean, that's a bummer, but I get it because of the automorph thing, right? Legs all the way out to the side. Legs all the way forward. Can't really go back because of the kibble. Knee to 90 degrees. And again, because of the ball joint, we have a swivel. Nothing at the ankle. That's a bit of a shame. Very similar transformation. And very similar articulation, for example, to like Basics Pterosaur, for example. I think it's mostly effective. You can do most of what you want with the guy, despite being a little bit back heavy. I mean, he stands pretty solid there. Also, if you don't want to have this in his hand, you can still kind of put it on the back and either leave the blasters in, or see if I can do this now. Yeah, or you can have them like up over his head, which I think is also pretty darn cool. How big is a basic? Oh, by the way, I'm going to say the articulation is a solid 8. We were getting a 9.5 and 8 for this. We're going to say overall that the guy is a 9. Pretty good. What about his size comparison to kind of some more modern day things, just so we have an idea of how big or small this guy is? Well, here he is next to a smattering of modern Beast Wars characters. Of course, Voyager, Dinobot, and Voyager Netflix Optimus Prime, Core Class Netflix Rat Trap, and Deluxe Class Kingdom Air Razor. He's basically what a traditional Legends class was, you know. Nowadays, he would probably become a small Deluxe, but he's definitely more than a Core. We'll say less than a Deluxe. At the end of the day, the Beast Wars basics were kind of ahead of their time. I mean, you had articulation that was leaps and bounds beyond G1 and G2. You had an auto transformation here that harkened back to things like the jump starters, but was done in such a way that both the Beast had leg articulation and the robot mode had decent limb articulation at the very least. I think it was an absolute win for the time, and even now, some 30 odd years later, 25 odd years later, whatever exactly it is, let's see, this came out in about, we'll say 96, 16, yeah, 25 years later. Honestly, I still think it stacks up and stands up very well next to new product, and I think the plastic here was pretty darn robust, which is sort of ironic considering Randy was anything but. And here we are once again, and here he is, and first things first, in terms of the look, I mean, we don't really have anything to compare to per se. Some comic things that really kind of came up after the fact here. I mean, he never appeared in the show or anything, but I mean, he looks good, he looks great. I don't know if I would have guessed he was a Maximal, though he is. I mean, maybe the red, I don't know. Like, I kind of see all the beasts as Predacons for some reason. I don't know why. Like, any that weren't on the show, for some reason I always default to Predacon, and I don't know why that is. The transformation, obviously very simplistic, much like Pterosaur. I think like Rat Trap, where you have the tail, you move the tail, and like the shell of the body opens up or flips out or whatever, and like the head and the main part of the body flips down. You know, the head becomes the chest and whatnot, right? Or in Pterosaur's case, it becomes the back, but similar gig. I think it makes sense though. Like, I think it works because it gives us a functional beast mode, it gives us a functional robot mode, and it's very easy, it's very simplistic. I like that sort of automorph if it's done well. It's not often it's done well, certainly not in the modern era. In terms of articulation, it's not bad. It's too bad that there's so much shell on the guy, but notwithstanding, he still has more articulation than anything from G1, which was what had come just before this. This was all of a sudden a leaps and bounds jump forward. Are we going to get like a Kingdom update to this guy? I doubt it. I don't know. I mean, we could, but I feel like if they're not prominent on the program, I don't know if they have the same following to warrant an update. Maybe. I could be totally out to lunch. But even if we don't get an update to this guy, the original Razorbeast is still pretty terrific. At least I thought he was. Let me know what you think about Razorbeast. My first chance looking at the guy. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, baby. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.